Welcome to Geography class. Today, we are focusing on the topic military rule in Nigeria. In our previous classes, we have done justice to civil rule and that it is a rule by civilians. So military rule, on the other hand, is a leadership or government by members of the military. Simply put, it is a rule by force or violence. Okay, what is military rule? Military rule is a form of government in which members of the armed forces are the rulers and leaders of government. It is also known as a dictatorial or autocratic government because the military members rule by force. Okay, the military members do what? They rule by force. Good. Now, the military is made up, or its components include the army, the navy, the air force. So the military is made up of the army, the navy, the air force. The aim of the military is defense. The army defends on land, the navy on the sea, and the air force in the air. Okay, these are what they do. The army defends on the land, the navy on the sea, and the air force in the air. The military are not guided by the law and constitution of the country, but by military decrees and edicts. Sometimes they come into leadership or governance through military coups, and military coups means taking over power by force. And now we'll look at some of the characteristics of military rule. Characteristics of military rule includes the existing constitution and laws are suspended. Okay, in a military rule, the existing constitution and laws are suspended. So constitutions are not used in military rule. It governs by coercion. That is by force, okay, by violence, using of weapons. Control is also centralized. Control is organized according to a hierarchy, meaning that military power is structured according to ranks. Okay, these are the characteristics of the military rule. Now let's take a look at some reasons why the military may take over government. Some of the reasons are abuse by political leaders. Okay, political conflict and misunderstanding among political leaders. This is another reason. Then, corruption and mismanagement of the country's resources. Some other reasons include bad or poor governance, human rights abuses through detention and assassination of political opponents, underdevelopment and poverty in the midst of huge resources. These are the reasons why militaries take over, okay? And lastly, another reason is tribal and religious politics among politicians. Tribal and religious politics among politicians, okay? This is all for this lesson. Let's do a recap of what has been learned. Military rule is a rule by the military, a rule that is done by force, okay? Military rule is a leadership or governance by members of the military, and it is mostly done by force, through violence, okay? It is done in a violent way, unlike the civilian rule that is a rule by civilians and it is guided by the constitution. The military rule, it is done by force, okay? There are three components of the military and it includes the army, the navy, and what? Good, the air force, okay? And we'll end this class here. I hope you learned a lot. Thank you for paying attention. See you in the next class. Bye.